If you've ever struggled with overwhelm when mixing your own music, this video is for you because here I break down how to make a mixing template that will get you off the ground every time. You will get a complete overview over everything that's going on at any point in the mix. So whether it's in the beginning or in the later stages of the mix, you have full control. This template can be made with any DAW, so buckle your DAW belts because here we go. So in this video, I've made a system that you can follow step by step, and you should be off and running with your template in a matter of half an hour at least. And if you're more interested in mixing in general, download my free mixing guide. The link is in the description. You ready? Okay. Here's step 1. Open a new DAW session with a blank template, with a blank slate. In this case, since it's a mixing template, go with the audio track. Make sure that this audio track is a stereo track and then duplicate it so you have two. The first one you call stereo beat, the next one you call drum loop. And then you make another audio track, and this track has to be mono. And then you duplicate that track 10 times. The first mono track, or the third track in your session now, you call kick 1. Then the next one, kick 2, and then next one, snare 1, and then snare 2, and then hi-hat fast, and then hi-hat slow, and then you go open hat, perks, cymbals, and then you're good to go. And the final mono track you call sub bass, and just delete those surplus mono tracks. And then you make a stereo track, and then you duplicate that one 10 times. And the first one you call bass texture, because that's the texturized bass. You divide the bass in two, like a sub-bass frequency below 100 hertz type of bass. And then you have another bass that is more texturized, more way up in the frequency spectrum. And then comes the next stereo track. You call that the main loop. And then the next one called alternative loop, or alt loop as I like to call it. And then you can have 3 of those, alt loop 1, 2, and 3. And then you can insert other instruments such as guitar, synth, violin, brass, what have you. Maybe some transitional effects at the end. That's it for the instrument section. Now, make another mono track, and this one you duplicate 10 times again. The first one you can call main verse. The second one you can call main hook. The third one you can call fill-in. And then the fourth one you can call backing L, and then backing R, and then hook back L, hook back R. Backing is backing for the main verse, hook back is backing for the hook. And then you go ad-lib 1 and ad-lib 2, dub 1 and dub 2, just to have some leftovers. And then you delete the rest if there's more. And there you have all your audio tracks. Now you select everything drum related, so kick, snare, hi-hat, perks, cymbals, and so on. And then you apply a color to those tracks. I like to have them in a certain color, so like this. Then you do the same for the bass. I like to have bass red. And then you select the instruments, and you can have the instruments blue or yellow or something. And then finally the vocals, I've typically colored those green. I have one shade of green for the lead vocals and then another for the backing vocals. And now all the tracks are colored, they're named, so it's all set and ready to go. And if you had any value out of this video so far, hit the like button. Step 2. Now we are going to make send effects. So we have all the send effects ready to go, ready to run. So I always start by selecting the drum loop, and then I make a send and I make an aux, and I call that drum room. I can send all my drum sounds into that bus, and they will be treated by the same reverb or delay sometimes, but oftentimes reverb. And then I make another one for the snares. So then the snares will be sent to the next aux bus, which will be the snare verb. I like to have one specific reverb for the snare. I leave the bass alone, and then I go to the instruments and I select every instrument and I send those to an aux that I call verb short, one that I call verb medium, one that I call verb long, and one that I call DDL8, then DDL4, and then DDL throw. So that's quite many, and I'll stop there because more than that and it will be a bit overwhelming. And then I select all the vocals in the lead section, which is the main verse and the hook and the fill-in. And then I will send those to an aux that I call verse verb and another that I call verse delay. or verse DDL. Next up, for the backing vocals, I will send them to an aux and I will call them back verb and back delay. And another trick that I like to use is that on the left and the right backing, I like to have separate reverbs. So I send the left backing to an aux that I call verb L, and then I take the right into an aux called verb R, and then I can do separate reverb or delay effects on those two, making it more stereo sounding. That's a neat little trick that I like to use, and it's also nice to use on individual instruments, for example. So having it in your template is a good thing. And as a short bonus to this step, I like to have something that I call the crazy verb. And that's something crazy, modulated, sound effect type of verb. I often use the Valhalla Supermassive for this one. Whenever I want something special, I have it all ready to use. But I don't insert any plugins yet. So we have the tracks in the correct sequence, we have them named, we have them colored, we have all the send effects set up. So you don't have to do that every time in your mix. They're all there ready to go. You only have to load up your reverb plugins and your delay plugins and your compressors and your EQs and so on. But you have all the tracks ready, set to go. And you can always duplicate tracks and you can always take away tracks. Okay, step number 3. Now we're going to level up our organization. So we will select all the drum related tracks, the kick, the snare, the hi-hat and so on. And then we will route all those into a bus. We will bus them together. And then we call this bus the drum bus. Next up, we will take all the bass related tracks, that's the sub bass and the bass texture, and then we will route that into another bus and we will call that the bass bus. Next up, we will take all the instrument related tracks, the main loop, the synths, the brass, what have you, the alternative loops, transitional effects, route those into a bus and call it instrument bus or inster bus. Then take your lead vocals, the main verse, the main hook, the fill-in, and route those 3 into lead vox bus. Call it lead vox bus. And then select the backing vocal tracks, the backing L, the backing R, the ad-libs, and so on, and route those into a bus that you call backing bus. So far, so good. Your send effects auxes, are they shown as tracks in your DAW? If they are, select them all and route them into a bus that you call effects bus. And if they're not shown as tracks, make them tracks. So that, for example, in Logic, they are only displayed in the mixer view, but not in the session view. So you will have to select them, right click and create track. I think that varies from DAW to DAW. So now you have the drum bus, the bass bus, the instrument bus, the lead vox bus, the backing bus, and the effects bus. You should have 6 buses now. Now you take everything that is related to the beat, and that's drums, bass, and instruments, and the track that is called stereo beat, which is the first track in your session. All those 4 you route into a new bus that you call the beat, or instrumental if you want. Next, you select everything vocal related and route that into a new bus that you can call a cappella. So now we have a beat bus or instrumental bus and an a cappella bus. And you have your effects bus. And those 3 buses, select those 3. If the buses are not shown as tracks, make them as tracks. That's easier. There you can have automation going on later, and it's really nice to have them as tracks. Route those 3 into a new bus that you call the mix bus. And then you route the mix bus into another bus that you can call the master bus. You can color those buses that you have made tracks of as well. Color them whatever you want to make some neat system, and that's it. This mixing template can be used over and over again, and for every time you use it, take notes of what's working and what's not working, and make sure that you update your template every time you stumble into something that doesn't work that well. Have you ever used templates before when mixing? Let me know in the comments. What's your experience? Do you like it? Or is it a bit tedious? In my opinion, it's difficult to use a template that hasn't been broken down by the one who made the template. So I guess that making your own template would be the best thing to do. But you can always download my Logic Pro templates down in the link below if you're on Logic Pro. And even if you download my templates, make those your own as well. That's my heartfelt advice. And if you like this video so far, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you want more videos like these, and hit the bell button if you want to get notified every time I drop a new video. And now that you're done, remember to save the templates. Just overwrite whatever you had, make sure it's saved. And if you want some recommendations of which plugins you should have in your template, if you want plugins in your template that is, check out this video, because here I go through what I insert on every track in my template to make it as fast as possible to mix, so you don't have to open your plugins folder for every track that you're making in your mix. And if you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video. Peace!